Someone will tell you renting is throwing money away. Then they'll compare a $1,500 rent payment to an $1,800 mortgage and call it obvious. But that's not the full math. Buying has upfront costs, ongoing costs, and money tied up that renting doesn't require. Renting has its own trade-offs. Today, the numbers both sides actually need, and a simple checklist to compare them fairly. If nobody walked you through this, that's normal.
Quick note. This is general education, not financial or real estate advice. I'll point you to sources like cfpb.gov and hud.gov, and for your situation, talk to a licensed professional.
The big idea? Renting and buying are both paying for housing, but the cost structure is completely different. Rent is mostly one monthly number plus renter's insurance. Buying spreads costs across a down payment, closing costs, the mortgage, maintenance, taxes, and insurance, plus the money you could have done something else with. Fair comparison means adding up all of those, not just the payment.
Number 1 on the buy side, upfront cash. A down payment is often discussed as 20%, but many first-time buyers put less. Check current loan programs on hud.gov. On a $300,000 home, 20% is $60,000 before you move in. Closing costs are often 2 to 5% of the purchase price, another $6,000 to $15,000 on that same example. That's illustrative math to show scale, not a quote for your market.
Number 2, ongoing costs of owning. Property taxes and homeowners insurance are recurring. Maintenance is the one people underestimate. A common rule of thumb is about 1% of the home's value per year for upkeep, though older homes can run higher. A $300,000 home might mean $3,000 a year in maintenance on average. That's $2,500 a month in your head until the water heater dies. On that illustrative $300,000 home, 1% maintenance is about $3,000 a year. $250 a month you should mentally set aside even when nothing is broken. Add property taxes, insurance, and possibly HOA fees depending on where you live. The mortgage payment is only the start of what owning costs. Renting isn't free math either. You pay rent, usually a security deposit, and often renter's insurance. You don't build equity, but you also don't write a check for a new roof. Rent can rise at renewal. You have flexibility to move when the lease ends. The trade-off is predictability and lower upfront cash versus no ownership stake and less control over the space. But here's where the rent versus buy conversation usually goes wrong. People compare monthly payment to monthly payment and skip the rest. They ignore closing costs, maintenance, and the down payment sitting in the house instead of somewhere else. Or they treat rent as wasted money without accounting for the flexibility and lower upfront risk. A fair comparison adds up total cost on both sides over the years you actually plan to stay. In about a minute, I'll give you the rent versus buy checklist to screenshot. 6 numbers to line up before you decide. But first, the cost most spreadsheets skip. Opportunity cost. Money in a down payment can't do anything else. If $60,000 sits in a home, it isn't in an investment account, an emergency fund, or paying off high-interest debt. Historically, home values have appreciated in many markets, but that's not guaranteed in every area or time period. Renting keeps that cash available. Buying bets it on housing. Neither is automatically right. It depends on your timeline and alternatives. Break-even is how long you need to stay before buying's total cost beats renting's, given your local numbers. In some markets with high rents and fast appreciation, break-even might be a few years. In others, with high prices and moderate rent, it might be much longer. There is no universal answer. The honest move is to run your own numbers for how long you expect to stay, not copy someone else's rule. Here's a fair comparison in 4 passes. 1. Add up renting costs. Rent, insurance, deposits, expected increases for the years you'll stay. 2. Add up buying costs. Down payment, closing, mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance. 3. Factor in how long you'll actually live there. 4. Ask what else you'd do with the down payment if you rented. 4 passes and you're comparing decisions instead of slogans. Now, the one thing nobody tells you about the break-even point. Moving costs money on both sides. If you buy and sell 3 years later, agent fees and closing costs on the sale can wipe out a big chunk of appreciation. Short timelines favor renting for flexibility. Longer timelines give owning more room to amortize those upfront costs. The question isn't which is morally better. It's which fits how long you'll stay and your local numbers. Here's your rent versus buy checklist. Screenshot this. 1. Down payment plus closing costs. 2. Monthly owning costs. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance. 3. Total rent costs, including insurance and likely increases. 4. How many years you realistically plan to stay. 5. Opportunity cost. What else the down payment could do. 6. Lifestyle fit. Flexibility, repairs, and stability matter too, not just math. That's the math nobody shows in a rent versus buy argument. Both choices have costs. The honest comparison is total cost over your timeline, not a slogan. If this helped, the free Adulting Starter Kit in the description has a budget template and emergency fund targets. Next up, the 401k match, the closest thing to free money at work. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and check cfpb.gov for your numbers.